Scorpio, Sun, Moon, and Rising. It's time to have a look and see just what is going on when it comes to your month of December 2021 and your cards. And just a quick heads up, I don't appear in my monthly horoscopes for the tarot anyway. I do in the astrology, but not the tarot, just because I do use more cards and people like to see the cards. But again, you can see me in pretty much all of my other videos. That being said, I do also want to remind you that if you are watching your rising sign forecast, your rising sign is giving you additional clarity as to how a great deal of your sun sign forecast is showing up. And your moon sign, well, that's giving you the less prominent side story of the month. And don't forget that if you ever want to get a session with me, you can go on ahead to my website, integrativemysticism.com, or follow the links in the down bar below. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. You know I appreciate it, and engagement helps the channel out a lot. So, what is going on when it comes to this month? Your big theme this month, or the big central story of the month, is the Nine of Wands reversed. And this whole month is going to be having a very open feel for a lot of you Scorpio folks. You're going to notice a lot of walls coming down for the positive, but you are also going to notice a lot of boundaries also coming down. And for better or for worse, that is going to be a large point of consideration. And it's important for a lot of you to pay attention to why this is occurring. With the Nine of Wands reversed, a lot of doors that were locked to you can now be opened. You're no longer in a place of containment, and we're no longer playing defense to the point where we can't move, we can't shift, we can't alter course, or we have to remain contained in a certain space, a certain activity, or maybe a certain status quo, which is all fantastic. However, with the Nine of Wands reversed, there's also this big focus on release that you have to be ready and willing to do as well, especially when it comes to circumstances that may come up where these newfound open opportunities, which are good for you, are also occurring at the same time as maybe some breaches of your personal boundaries, your personal availability, time, and space. So we are reordering and reorganizing all of our fences at the same time to set ourselves up for success in that respect. And with the Nine of Wands reversed, it's also important that this is a time where you are getting a chance to see a lot more opportunities for yourself, because you're no longer working with limited resources, limited availabilities, or limited territory, however that applies in your story. Just make sure that, as you go and settle a new space for yourself, you are also taking good care of that new space so we don't leave it wide open to any problems down the road. When it comes to your material circumstances, your work, your job, your finances, you do have the Hermit card upright and the High Priestess reversed. And with the Hermit, I'm actually seeing a lot of you Scorpio people getting a chance to take a bit of a walk on the wild side this month. In fact, you may be finding that you are kind of detracting from a lot of your usual haunts, a lot of your usual sources of revenue, sources of assignments, sources of projects, maybe even working a lot more closely with an individual or maybe a population in your field or in your career that is a bit more remote or maybe not necessarily commonplace, that actually is going to do you a great deal of good. You may also want to pay attention to new work opportunities, however that applies in your unique situation, that may pull you out of more of what you would consider the run-of-the-mill or mainstream experience, that are actually offering you bigger rewards and awards for departing from what could be considered the usual or the normal. And this could actually elevate you in a very, very positive way as we go into the beginning of 2022. Now, with the High Priestess reversed, it is also going to be a month where you might be noticing a lot of scandal going on in the workplace, or maybe even in your profession or in your field, which may be prompting a fair amount of adjustment or realignment. This could be difficult to cope with, especially if maybe you work in a business or your job or your role itself requires you to be able to answer or mirror back sort of the sentiments or the energies or the paradigm that people are bringing to you and what's going on with the crowd and what's in fashion there. But with the High Priestess reversed, I do feel like there is going to be a lot of adjusting going on internally and externally. You may find that you are going to need to walk away from a certain kind of brand, a certain kind of work ethic, or maybe even some kind of command or imperative that was expected of you because it's actually turning out to create more problems than you could have thought it should. However, with that Hermit card upright, you are getting a chance to slip into a much wealthier way, a much more secure way, and a much calmer way. So make sure we're not overly attached to maybe an outdated work ethic or even an old mentor, old teachings, or old commonplace ideals, because your field is going through a major transition. When it comes to your community, friends, relatives, other people in your life, you do have the Strength card reversed and the Ten of Wands reversed. And there could be some challenges that come up with the Strength card reversed. A lot of you Scorpio people may be finding that a certain precedent that was set, I'm not sure how far back, with certain friends or relatives that may actually have been permissive of unhealthy or volatile or even intrusive or imposing behavior may be getting taken advantage of this month, and this could be happening from more than one person. When we talk about impositions, we talk about intrusion, volatility, or even abuses of trust. This could be coming from somebody that you have allowed to walk on you because you see their wounds, or a household that you've allowed to walk on you because you see their wounds, you see what they're struggling with. That's really still not an endorsement for the negative behavior that's coming out. And so you are going to need to, as we saw with that Nine of Wands reversed, pay attention to what your philosophy about the situation is and see what we can do to either reorient ourselves to be closer to a stronger corner of our support system or build a stronger support system, and also not keep subjecting ourselves to things that ultimately do keep giving us hell. In fact, with the Ten of Wands reversed, a lot of you may be dropping something that you have been trying to make work for somebody else, something that you have been trying to maintain for somebody else that ultimately has been pulling you off your path. Or perhaps it's something that you've taken on out of a sense of responsibility or social responsibility. But with the Ten of Wands reversed, it is something that does need to go. I think that you're going to find a completely new approach to this. A lot of you are stepping into a new sense of community, a new sense of tribe, closer connections, but you can't really receive that with both hands if we are continuing to engage in a lot of this other high maintenance difficulty that we just spoke of. When it comes to your challenges this month, you do have the Four of Pentacles upright and the Two of Swords reversed. Looking out for yourself could actually be a bit of a challenge this month, especially if you feel like you are required to be maybe a little bit too involved in another person's state of mind. Because with the Four of Pentacles as your challenge, I'm seeing a lot of you Scorpio people really needing to step it up when it comes to protecting your own interests, right? Taking care of yourself, of your territory, of your most prized connections, and maybe even your most prized projects and ambitions. But what I'm seeing here is you are having to protect from within a lot of maybe social setups or professional setups that you had once had a home in, that you may be kind of taken on and are kind of realizing that there might be something intrinsically wrong with that setup. With the Four of Pentacles, it is okay to protect your own. It's okay to take careful steps. And with that Nine of Wands reversed, of course, we are already doing that. You may be finding that it's a little bit tough, though. There might be some cognitive dissonance with whatever comes up around the High Priestess reversed reveals itself. There may be some issues confronting that Strength card reverse situation where you feel almost a guilty conscience about calling out what you see. But you have to. With the Two of Swords reversed, another part of this challenge, I think, is going to be you probably going into a space where you are cutting off something that ultimately has to get cut off for your own sake this month. And this could be something that's been in your life for a very, very long time that you've gotten accustomed to, but you know is unhealthy. It's something that you have felt at home with that is no good for you. That's something that you have considered a staple that ultimately needs to get, removed. And with the Two of Swords reversed, that's also another part of putting yourself first. When it comes to your relationships, with love, romance, and partnerships, we've got the Lovers card reversed and the Emperor card upright. And a lot of you Scorpio people that are in committed partnerships going into this month are going to find that there is this big release of tension going on between you and a partner, or possibly between you and a partner and another household, because there is this unraveling of a cord or a tie that binds one or both of you to the past. Now, with the Lovers card reversed, there is going to be a lot of re-examination and reevaluation of the way that maybe we've carried on with ourselves, with each other, or our family that's not creating a win-win situation. And we are going to have to find a better way to actually do our relationship, do our romance, do our marriage, do our entire family setup, because going back to the old way, working with the old script, that is just not going to work. It's honestly going to create a bit of a powder keg situation, even if you try. And it's not virtuous just because it's old. That's obviously a naive fallacy. But with the Lovers card reversed, I do feel that a lot of you are going to get a chance for a bit of a freedom break, because ultimately your relationships with the Emperor card upright are going extremely well. And this could even be an opportunity for you and a partner to plant your flag in a whole new territory, or maybe take on a whole new, much more personally and collectively satisfying romantic style, communication style, parenting style. And a lot of you are going to find that there is some kind of big break coming into your life that is allowing you to also set up a whole new sense of home base with your partner. And it's ultimately setting up a new kind of longevity. For those of you who are single and available, the clearing and cutting cords of attachments of the past or to the past is very, very clear with the Lovers card reversed. And if there are new people coming in, both you and the new person have got to be able to give each other a clean slate without having the other person be subjected to what was going on before and when they were not around. So that way this new opportunity, this new love opportunity can actually really get going. In fact, with the Emperor card upright, a lot of you are going to be finding that you are getting with somebody that you would consider to be not only highly capable, but somebody that is pretty much a self-made success, or a self-made master, as it were. Because with the Emperor card upright, we are seeing somebody stepping in that ultimately is already living in the kingdom they are building. And you are getting a chance to understand and connect with somebody that may already be building a kingdom that not only you have aspired to build yourself, but they are also very much achieved, very well respected, and highly talented in this regard. So all of you are going to have a beautiful love situation this month. We've just got to make sure that we get rid of unnecessary complications that may keep us tied to earlier eras or earlier chapters of our lives. So that is what I've got for you all. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. You know I appreciate it. And should you ever wish to get a session with me, go on ahead to my website. It's integrativemysticism.com.